What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the Copway Podcast and Pod and a Pint, episode 18. We are in Shenanigans once again. We are drinking
There's the pint.
to the Premier League champions.
We are indeed. What a great set of boys they are.
Absolutely. How you feel? What was your, like? How are you feeling now? So, what was it, 5 days later? How are you feeling?
Still blissful about it. You know, it was. We're almost going to become boring if we're not careful. So if you've heard me say this before or someone else say this before, the thing about Sunday was I was keen up for it to be a great day.
Yeah.
I didn't think it'd be as good as it was, and that's what's been so overwhelming about it. Really, every little aspect of it. It was dead interesting. The manager in the press conference this morning, even he was saying, there was that little bit when he was like, and he was pleased there wasn't a pitch invasion. I feel a little bit like everyone got the dream day. The players got it, he got it, and his staff got it, and then we all got it as well, obviously, and we got to have it much longer than them. I very much hope, Virgil van Dijk didn't have my evening, but I hope he had some evening, but I hope he didn't have mine, because he's got to play a game of football on Sunday and he want to be at his best.
Yeah.
So no, I'm very, but with it all, it just felt so special, and then special in the ground, so special in the ground, and then so special afterwards as well. Everything both that we got to do recorded at the Anfield Wrap and seeing people, but also then everything that we got to do away from that as well. I had some night in Motel, I had some night in Glorious. It was just fantastic, and it felt like seeing everyone you've been on the journey with for so long. So I don't know about you, but I'm still just reclining in it. I feel like the entirety of Sunday and then going into Monday will feel a bit like a brilliant moment in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
When you're on the lounger and you're laying back, but the water's getting you in a bit, but the water's warm, and you're in that moment of sheer peace. Yeah. It feels like I'm in a lagoon of Liverpudlian bliss.
Yeah. Did you end up in M-Box by any chance?
I didn't. No, neither occasion. No, neither occasion. We did, as I say, Motel Glorious were my. And the Croc. The Croc had a great time in the Croc. And Jimmy was flying. Ended with Salisbury Hill, and then Watch You'll Never Walk Alone on. There was no pretense there was blues there. Do you know what I mean? No one even pretended for a second there was any Everton contingent. And then, so the Croc was amazing, great to see people there as well. Dave Pownall, Ben and Adam, Rob and Jacko. And then onto Motel, and then into Glorious, and fantastic. Got in 4:30, 4:45, asleep at 5, and back up and back at it, and but buoyed by it, full of endorphins, full of joy.
That's it, innit? Because I didn't get back from New York till like 8 a.m. UK time. So I got home, I had a few hours kip, and then I was like, I've got to get straight out. But it was one of them, like, if it was any other day, it weren't title winning day, I'd have been on my ass. I mean, I remember you were on a few weeks ago, and you just got back from Australia.
Yeah.
I didn't, obviously, the levels of what you were feeling compared to what I feeling, it was only like a 7-hour flight. Yours was like a fucking day.
But you were buoyed by winning the league?
Yeah, exactly. It absolutely pulled me through. So, and that's what it's all about. It's making the memories while you can of all of the good stuff that we're going through. But yeah, there's an opening question, as there always is. This is from Yuki. So now that we are champions of the Premier League, players are making holiday plans for the summer. So if you can go on a holiday with one of them or a couple of them, who do you want to go with, and where? You're in charge of it as well, so you've got to pick where you go.
So I've got two answers to this, because it's different types of holiday, not so much the location. So I'd gladly go to like a Caribbean paradise with Virgil. I think Virgil's my dream man for that, in that I just feel as though he just chill to such an extent. I want to go early. I want him to fuck off Dutch international duty for him, so he can make sure he's back in the best possible shape. But we almost see the holiday. We're there for 7 days, and it's me and Virgil. He can bring the family. He's more than well, bring the family. Messing around with them by the pool, by the wonderful facilities that we'd have together, and he can enjoy that with me. And then a few drinks in the night, but not loads, nothing mad. Lovely foods, but again, all relaxed eating. Maybe Virg has a bit more than the club would like, but it's fine. He's got that's why he's fucked off the Dutch international duty. We have a lovely time, me and him, chilled, and going from there. And then I think I'd like the other one that's in my head, and I don't know quite why I've sort of settled on Jota, but like I don't think Jota would sit still. Jota, he loves his FIFA and all that sort of stuff. I quite like a bit of an adventure holiday with Jota. So I'll come back from Virg, or maybe I'll do it the other way around and go with Jota first, and it's a bit of a busy one, not quite a city break, but something where, maybe we're doing a bit of walking, a bit of rock climbing. He's much fitter than me. It's a bit embarrassing at times. We do all that, and then we're like a couple of games of FIFA in the night and hanging out, and then going maybe to a couple of bars. He'd be a good boy, I think, Jota, on the whole. I think he would be. Unlike Virgil, who's going to really relax into it with me. He'd be a good boy, and then we go from there. So I'd want the busy holiday, few days, and then the Virg holiday. And just imagine, like, sitting there, it's 5 p.m, and saying to Virg, Champions, eh?
Yeah. Just have a little, unbelievable.
Champions.
You know what? I'd pay good money to see you and Diogo Jota going down a strip, you absolutely pissed and you hanging around his neck. I'd pay decent money to see that.
Yeah.
Just seeing out the upper body strength of Diogo Jota holding you up.
Tremendous.
It'd be good, wouldn't it?
Honestly, tremendous stuff.
You know what? I'm surprised I didn't think you'd go to Diogo Jota. That's a surprising one.
I think he'd be busy. I think he'd want to do activities, if you know what I mean. So if you're going to do activities, let's do them with Diogo.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Absolutely, fair play. And yeah, we are going to get into the footy, obviously, 20 times champions and all that. That's something that I'm going to keep saying for the rest of my life, and it's just something that we need to embrace and fully get stuck into and be piss spoilers, basically. But before we get stuck into footy, I know you're an avid snooker fan.
Yep.
And I know that obviously I am as well, so I've been consuming it.
Checking the scores there, loving it. I was there on Tuesday morning, so my Tuesday I went to Sheffield last thing Monday to meet Rob and Steve, so we went there, we hung out for the night. They'd been in the afternoon, I had to skip. We all had tickets, but I had to skip it. It just didn't fit with everything else that was going on. I had to do my job, and it wasn't like it wasn't a bad job. There's things to enjoy, so it was meant to be a day off, but obviously did everything on the Monday and had a really good time with everybody, and then went to Sheffield, hung out Monday night with Rob and Steve, a few drinks, and then we got up and we did Higgins Williams. We had that side, which I made up about because two genuine legends. Higgins is a 4-time world champion, Williams 3, so getting to see them, and they were great. Both on form, and Williams in the end took it. I mean, I was watching the end of it.
Yeah, I watched the end.
So when he's on the brown, I just wanted him to roll up behind the blue. I wanted Higgins to win. And I saw it, and it was such a difficult brown along the cushion and then get on the blue.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'd just roll up here, he should just roll up. And he doesn't, he attacks it.
Yeah.
And then he's on the blue. And I just thought, well, he's done it now, so he's got to go on and go from there. And then he missed the blue, and he just really missed it, and I was gutted for him.
Yeah.
It was one of those that would just be so hard to take, because he'd managed it. I thought he was the better player in the final session with Higgins. I thought he looked in great shape, and but there's so many good players. Trump looks. I sort of want Trump to win, I think, because he's been world number one. I feel he's had hard lines a couple of times in the tournament. He probably should have another couple. I think he's been that good for that long, and I think he's a great person for snooker. I think Judge Trump, I think he loves the game and he loves the spectators, he loves the sport. I think Zhao's such an exciting talent, and it looks like he's 12-4 up against Ronnie as we're recording. So Zhao looks in good shape in the first to 17. You never know, because he might get nervous, and he's playing Ronnie. Ronnie's obviously capable of anything. And so I'd love a Trump versus Judge Trump Zhao final. I think I'd want Trump to win it but I think there's every chance Zhao wins 5 of these. I think he's that special. So I love it, and I love being in the Crucible, and
I've not been yet. I need to get myself down there.
I'd recommend, if you've not been, genuinely go when it's a 2-table setup. Don't do the more expensive ones when it's the 1 table up towards the end of the tournament, because you're so on top of them. You get to see the intensity of it and what they go through. I'd go then. Go even just to get a first or second round match. Hello there, we all right? Hello. So I'd go during the 1 or 2 the 2-table setup. Get in there, and you've got wherever you are, you've got a great view. You've got a great view wherever you are, and I'd recommend it to anyone who loves the snooker.
What are we talking price wise? I've never actually looked into it.
I can't remember, because I bought them 12 months ago. You basically they go on sale almost as soon as the tournament finishes. So I'll give you a shout with the link, and you can have a little look. It's not mad. And if you're prepared to spend the day in Sheffield, you can get at 10 o'clock on a Monday or something. That's what we tend to do. So the one I was at was 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. So it's not, it's not insane. It's not off the charts expensive.
I'll definitely have to look into that. So I've been a massive fan for ages, to be honest, but it's one of them. I won't watch everything, but when obviously the Crucible's on, it's on BBC. So I can't take my eyes away from it. It's just fascinating, isn't it?
It's great to have on, and it's not too similar to cricket where you can bob in and out. What I quite like about an afternoon of snooker, you can put the snooker on, 1 o'clock the session starts, say, and you can watch a frame, and then you can go, right, I've got to do something, I've got to go away, and you can go away for 20 minutes and you can come back and it's fine to catch up. That's what I like, the idea that you can sort of switch in your own, you can leave it on the background, but you can switch it on and off with what else you're doing, and then at the moment you need to watch, you can be all in.
You can zone straight in, can't you? Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will talk about the Reds in a sec, but I want to mention...
They won the league,
I want to mention... Keeping you fucking waiting. I also want to say is it's your 5th episode, and we did discuss embroidered caps So I am gonna. I think what I'm gonna say is once we hit double figures. So I'm bequeathing you a cap when you
so
hit
I get 10.
When you get to 10,
I want the full design.
you want
It'd be tremendous.
You're getting everything there.
Tremendous. I can't wait. I'll wear
Little
it.
cue and snooker ball.
Whatever you want to put on it, it's down to you. But if you want to embroider the cap, it is down to you.
Just want to get that in there. But yeah, we will. Let's talk about the Reds 20 times, Neil. We just mentioned how we feel. 5 days ago, like we said, it still doesn't feel real. I keep waking up and just thinking, it just like washes over me, and I'm like, we've done it. Like I think we went through so many like times, and like obviously I was born in '89, so I went through the '90s, that period, and it felt so far away. And now that we've done it twice in 5 years, you can have all these rival shitty fans saying it's like twice in fucking 30 odd years or whatever. But it's twice in 5 years for us. Obviously 3 times in 35 years or whatever it is. But twice in 5 years is absolutely, obviously from the first time it was special, but it wasn't the same special that it is now. And to get the whole in the stadium, the stuff after. Then you've got like obviously all the social media accounts posting every different angle of every different thing. It's just you can just consume everything. It's just delightful, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think what's great is, listen, let's be clear. It's been Liverpool and City now since 2017 really. Sorry, 17-18. City win it in 18, get 100 points. Liverpool get to the Champions League final. Following season, Liverpool win the Champions League. City get 98. Liverpool get 97. Liverpool then win the league the year after. City have made a couple of Champions League finals, won one, done a treble. But this could end up being sort of 10 years where it's defined by those two teams. Now, there's so much controversy around Manchester City, rightly, for good reason. It makes it almost difficult to engage with in a good faith way.
Yeah.
If we can just allow that for a second, because I'm all in favour of the controversy in a way, like it's something that's got to get resolved for football. But if we can just sort of park it for a split second, Liverpool in this era, I think Liverpool are worthy of one more league and maybe one more European Cup.
Yeah.
But they've now got the league this season, and I was grew up, Mick, I don't know about you, but with the video team of the decade.
Yeah.
Do you remember the VHS?
Yeah.
And Liverpool in the league at 80, and Liverpool go on and they win, a good number. Liverpool were undoubtedly the team of the decade. For me, the challenge now for this team, and it can sound like you're being unbelievably greedy, but where the score currently stands is that City would be team of the decade, but we're only in 25.
Yeah.
We won it in 20, we've won it in 25, they won the 4 in the gap. They've got themselves a Champions League on the board. All right, Sam, let's go and sort that out. See if we can equal, if not surpass that. Let's go and add another couple and see where we are at the end of it and do a bit of a comeback. And that's such a privilege. It's unbelievable to have that. And that's sort of where my brain is, how special it was on Sunday. Is firstly, I want another one. I want another day like that one. I'll take any day. Again, when they win the title, I think we can have it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's impossible. I think that they've re-signed, I think the first time I came on here with you, we were talking about contracts, that they've re-signed Salah and Van Dijk, says they want to win now.
Yeah.
You don't, if the club could have got rid of Salah and Van Dijk and had the attitude of the reason why is because this has been a great league win, but we're going to rebuild and we're going to go from there. And they've chosen not to do that, but you don't re-sign Salah and Van Dijk if you don't think you can win. And Salah and Van Dijk don't re-sign if they can win.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It is.
And so that's where we are, and I'm not saying it will happen, I'm not even saying it should happen, but I love it as a target. What does it take? A couple of European Cups, another, win 3 of the next 4 or 5 leagues, and we all get to look at each other and go, what a 10, 12, 13, 14 years supporting Liverpool that was. And that's what Salah will want, it's what Van Dijk will want, it's what Robertson will want, it's what Alisson will want, and it's now what McAllister will want. It's now what Gravenberch will want. You can go all the way and you can look at a lot of these lads and see that they were, Joe Gomez. They've had a lot of this. They've tasted it, and the best thing for me about Sunday is you're not telling me they all want more. They all want more. Massively. They all want more.
Yeah, I think Slot referenced that today. He kind of said those fans are a massive reason why we can pull more players in, because they'll have, everyone around the world will have seen those celebrations and go, I want a piece of that. I want a piece of that next year and the next year after that.
Yeah, I'm just flipping for a second because we talk about us because we love us. But what Newcastle did at the end of March when they celebrated their winning the trophy, if you're a player and you're weighing up Newcastle, and let's be clear about this, Newcastle state-owned club, but you're weighing up Newcastle and you can see they'll give you 10% more money, but they might, you're coming in from abroad, 10% more money, but not a London club. A London club's interested in you as well, Tottenham, hypothetically speaking. And you see what Newcastle did, and you see all that, and they'll give you a little bit more money as well, but it's not London. But you could see yourself going, yeah, but there's greatness there.
Yeah.
And that's Newcastle, not Liverpool.
Yeah.
You look at that, what you saw on Sunday, and what the way the parade will be as well. And we already know they've given that it's on record. They've given players, you know, marketing videos to come to sign for Liverpool.
Yeah.
But view them as marketing videos to say this is what you get if you come here.
Yeah.
You could go anywhere if you can play for Liverpool. You can play for anyone.
Yeah.
But don't play for anyone. Play for Liverpool.
Yeah.
This is what we want, and I think that it's a great moment to sort of say you want immortality, you want this genuine rush, you want to be the centre of everyone's attention. And there's a few players I can think of. I've been intrigued by the Rodrigo link.
Yeah.
Rodrigo's fucked at Madrid.
Yeah.
God love him.
Yeah.
No matter how well he does, he's second fiddle. He's second fiddle to Vinicius, he's second fiddle to Mbappe,
Yeah.
he's second fiddle I've actually run out of fiddles.
He always will be.
Yeah, Bellingham.
Yeah.
You know, he's second fiddle to a lot of these lads.
Yeah.
And it might be, I'm not saying Liverpool should definitely go and buy him or anything like that, but if Liverpool wanted to say to Rodrigo, you're second fiddle there, you come here, you'll be starting every week.
Yeah.
Maybe we use your number 9 in a bit of an unorthodox way for a couple of years. Salah's then going to move on. This is greatness.
Yeah.
This is you being the main man. Think about it, because if you think you're good enough, which he is, but if you think you're good enough, you can be good enough here, you'll be good enough forever. And he's just one example, I think, where Liverpool can say to genuinely great players, if you want your... It's why Thiago signs.
Yeah.
You know, you want your... Thiago will have seen the parade in 2019, and it didn't in the end go the way we'd have hoped with Thiago, although he has a great season, 21-22. But if you want to come and play for a football club that you can emotionally buy into and love every minute of, then come and play for this one.
Yeah.
And that is one hell of a draw, it's one hell of an offer.
It is, massively. Just a bit of a segue then, while you just touched on Thiago, like, he's one of the, it is a bit of a sidestep this, but like in terms of the most gifted player you've seen, he's in the flesh, he's one of the best I've seen for me. He was fucking absolutely unbelievable, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was one where when he was on, it was phenomenal to watch.
United at home, where we just fucking hell. It's just like a magician at work, just so easy for him.
Yeah, genuinely one of the greatest footballers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you know, it is just a bit of a shame the way in which it ended up going for him. I think there's a little bit on that where I think he was rushed back final season. Should have played that, should have come on in that game against Arsenal. I think it is a little bit of a shame, but you know, I'm sure he's happy enough and what a career.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely baller. What a guy. And then another little, let's say, a back pedal, because I want to bring up the Sky Sports appearance, because I absolutely. How you doing? You okay?
I'll have a half a Guinness, please, John.
I'll have a half, yeah, please, yeah. I want to talk about the Sky Sports appearance because it was everywhere. And I was fucking loving every second of it. I was getting retweeted everywhere. People were reposting it. They were saying this is what Sky Sports should be about. You shouldn't be having these like Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard debates. You should be having real people telling it how it is.
Nice about it. I just genuinely know. I'm not.
You told me the story before, but
first and foremost, I was starving, so that didn't help. So it feels as though, you know, but I was something to get down to get something to eat.
The sausages were
we just kept asking me more questions. But being really honest, that one of the things was, and I'm glad everyone's liked it and appreciated it. I didn't do it for any reason other than
that's you.
Yeah, but I'm in the back of my head. I was sort of waiting for someone to, because you know I do a fair bit of media elsewhere, but I thought I was just going to be asked to talk about Van Dijk.
Yeah.
But I've had in the back of my head from sort of lying awake a few nights thinking about the mighty boys in red.
Yeah.
I've had in the back of my head, might want to, next time you get a chance, just sort of pull up this nonsense, because the biggest thing for me, and someone stopped me the other day in the Glen book after we won it and went the maths. He said I was made up. He went with the maths.
Yeah.
He pointed out we are the most successful club in England, but only 25 times since 1892 if we won either of them. That's why it's always special, and I think that to me that's the most important thing. You know, I don't want to talk down just because City did win 4 on the bounce. Doesn't mean anyone else gets to talk it down. Arsenal now have not won it since 2004. I think I'm right in saying 2004. Chelsea win it with Mourinho 05, so it's 2004 Arsenal last won it. That's now 21 years since Arsenal last won it. United haven't won it since Ferguson's last season, which was 2013.
Yeah.
So they're now on 12, and by the way, that looks like it's going to turn into 17 in the blink of an eye, minimum. You know, you begin to then look at any other team that you care to mention. How far back you've got to go? Chelsea, and now Conte's season, which follows Leicester's season. So Chelsea, 2017, since they've last won it, they're now 8 years.
Yeah.
The point is that whilst City have won it in a bit of a rush, and whilst there was when United and Arsenal were trading it, and then a period of Chelsea and United trading it, the truth of it is that those days are special. United have still only won. You know, to do United have been going as Newton Heath. I think they've been going even before 1892. Yeah. So they've only ever won the big either 23 times, because they've only won 3 European Cups. And when United win it again, and they will, so let's all just be honest, United will at some point win it again. I hope we're on 25 by then, but United will win it again, and that day will be so special for so many Man United supporters. So what I don't like in football, genuinely, if anyone does it, is withdrawing people's enjoyment or undoing achievements, talking down what it is that football clubs do. Let me be clear, Chelsea might limp to 5th this year. I don't like them. Yeah. They might limp to 5th. Now, limping to 5th is just top 25% of the league. Yeah. But they might limp to 5th. I think you do well to come 5th in this league, but I think if they get there, then they get there. But it's still, that is a bit of a limp. So, you know, you can sort of talk that down. But first, and people are acting like, honestly. So it was in my back pocket, and when people saying afterwards, you made a show of him, or yada. Listen, the lad has just asked to ask a question. The producers put it in his ears. He's going through, and I don't want to embarrass anyone. That's not what I'm about in any way.
But it was the general consensus, though, weren't it? Like, Liverpool having a wobble. So he's just reiterated that.
But the consensus that also a lot of other people on the punditry, what I call the punditry class, I don't talk themselves into. They don't talk. That's one of the reasons I was lying awake and thinking about it. Thinking, who the fuck do these people think they are?
Yeah, exactly.
Some of these people have also played for football teams that have been successful, but have known what it is to be at the point where you're gonna win. So it's the most. You've got to carry the metaphor of carrying the Ming vase across the crowded room. Yeah. That's what Liverpool were doing in that period. So I just wanted to sort of say that, and I think it's an important. But also, though, and I mean this sincerely, we can't do it the other way. If next season Arsenal win the league, and it's all a bit flat at the end, we then don't get to go, you're a bit shit, and you're not going to face anyone. And no, forget that. Anyone who wins this league at the minute the way it is, and listen, one day it might be an easy league again. I don't see it happening anytime soon, but it might be. Anyone who wins this league, you've got to therefore say, you know what, I take my hat off to you. And go before me point about City, they won the 4 on the bounce, and there's loads of reasons for there to be a question mark or an asterisk around that. But those footballers still have to go and do it. So we can have a face on about it. We can not like it for a variety of reasons. We can also say there was a couple of seasons in there where we deserved it and they never. Yeah. We can point out last season even when Doku, poleaxes McAllister. And if that penalty's given, maybe we go on and win it and they don't. Yeah. We can do all of that. But what you shouldn't do is go, oh well, it was easy, or it was this, or it was that. By all means say there's those question marks, the obvious ones. But don't undo the achievements of winning 4 on the bounce. I think, on the whole, I'm pleased for Newcastle. I'm pleased for Newcastle supporters. Given who their ownership is, I hope they never won as much as a tombola. Yeah. But you're a cold man if you can't be pleased for that. I'm desperate for Palace to beat City in the final of the FA Cup. But you know what? If that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. And those City supporters will have a good day. I want Palace to win it because it'd be a lifetime defining day for their fans. But I want people to enjoy the football. If we can't have the magnanimity to say when other people get to have a good time, with the possible exception of Everton and Man United.
yeah, of course.
Because that's how rivalries work. Yeah. But if you can't have a degree of magnanimity to say every now and again, well played to them, then what are we all doing? And with all the punditry stuff around what was happening with the Reds, I just wanted them to fundamentally just go fuck yourself. Yeah. Is almost the way in which I felt about it. That's why it ended up being the way in which it was. I was just a bit like, you've just got to go fuck yourself. John Milburn, by the way, is supplying the bevies here. Nice we're on the podcast. Yeah, we're on. Don't worry at all. The way we're doing this week on all fronts, John, is we're just all fucking chilled out. So this is Mick's one, but we're taking it easy.
Yeah. Just cracking on. Let's talk about Chelsea then, because first guard of honour, Maresca.
First of the 4 guards of honour.
It's the first one. So Maresca was chatting today about that's obviously they're going to do that, and we know they're going to do that anyway. I'm looking forward to Arsenal.
Sometimes that, by the way.
It's unreal, isn't it? The first one I'm looking forward to, but I'm looking forward to Arsenal, and that's maybe the knobhead in me looking forward to see Arteta crying a little bit.
No, I think I think Arteta will love it. Given all the way he is, yeah. Well, do you know why? The reason why is because if he said to his players, "You've got to clap them on." Do you want to do it again next year? Do you want to do it again next year?
Use it as like a
yeah. Do you want to do that? Did you enjoy that? Do you want to do that again next year? I think Arteta, almost in his mindset, will be if we've come second, look at them. I used to think that anyway. You know, I always remember upset, getting beat by Madrid in 18, looking at them. I'll look at you. Yeah, I'll look at you. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's look them in the eye. I'm in favour of it. I'm in favour of, you know, they've beaten you. They've been better. Look at them. Think about it. Go back, improve. Come on. Let's go. No messing around here. And I think Arteta will love all that. You know, genuinely, you'll be playing them videos of it first day of pre-season. You had to clap them on. Do you want to feel like that again?
Yes.
No.
Bottle that feeling and make sure it's not
you know, I think that all of that sort of. So I expect genuinely Arsenal. There'll be one or two. Bernardo Silva in it, I suspect. But I reckon, like the for instance, the leaders in that team will be stuck there. They've been taught by Arteta, your back's ramrod straight, you do this, you look them in the eye and then you go and beat them. Then you beat them at Anfield that day. And that's why he talked today, the manager, about in the press conference about a bit of rotation in a few of the games. I think in 3 of the 4, go for it. I think Arsenal, I want Liverpool at it, on it, and looking to ensure we will beat you on our ground as champions to set up next season. I think it'll be a great game. I think it'll be a great occasion. I think it'll be one that we can all get stuck into. I'm excited for it already, but we've got Chelsea first.
Well, that was going to be my next question. In terms of like rotation and stuff, which one do you think is the one where we change stuff up a little bit?
So, Dan Morgan asked me this on our review show. I'd look at, for tactically, I think he should play what I call 4-2-4-0 at Brighton, where no centre forward. So where it's Diaz one flank, Salah the other. I'd do some. So when we did it at City, he did Szoboszlai and Jones. I'd do Szoboszlai and Elliott. So Szoboszlai and Elliott next to each other. Maybe even play Jones deeper, maybe. With Gravenberch. Give maybe McAllister that game off to come off the bench. But I want to know what that looks like. The idea of Elliott's cleverness, touch, where the physicality of it maybe matters a little less because Szoboszlai is still there with him. And that's why maybe you have Jones behind him as well if you want to. Diaz and Salah, and see what that looks like. Give Elliott that opportunity where Diaz is able to run, Salah's able to run, and Elliott can see the pitch, and let's see how he plays. He was great in that role in pre-season. So I'd change the shape for that one, use Elliott. I'd use Elliott against Chelsea. I think he deserves a start. I'd use him, I'd use Jota in there as well. I think that Jota and Elliott are an interesting little two, because Jota will press like a demon, but he's not Diaz, you know, in terms of coming and filling in the space. So Elliott's got more space to function in when we've got the ball. I'd probably be using Bradley once we're 100% on what Trent's doing. If that could happen, that'd be great. If the club is, I'd use Bradley in the last 2 for certain. And then I think it just becomes what it is that he wants to have a look at. I think it's important. I really want Gravenberch. So loads of people are going to say start Endo. I disagree.
Sort of bit of that.
I disagree. I'd start if Gravenberch. What I want is for Ryan Gravenberch to get to the end of this season and for Arne Slot and Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah and whoever else needs to pull them to one side and say 38 games, 38 starts. In a team that won the league. How special is that? And also then for him to be able to say, if we're honest, there's a couple of games where the load felt like it was a lot on him, but going to next season knowing how to manage that load better, but knowing he pulled it off. So can he do it better? Can he do it better? Yes, but he pulled it off. And I think that's massive. So I understand why people want that, but it's what you want for psychologically for each player. And I think there's a little bit there of a manager maybe having a couple of conversations. Do they feel, you know, Alexis McAllister, it might suit him because he's going to go and play for Argentina, to maybe have a couple of times when he's on the bench. But there might be other players, Salah we know isn't going away for Egypt, and will also want to guarantee the golden boot.
And he'll want to beat the assist record as well.
And the assist, he'll want the records. So it's about, so, you know, people then cry and say, why doesn't he start Chiesa, why is it Salah? The reason why is because Mo Salah wants it to be Mo Salah. And Mo Salah sort of gets to choose. Like, you know, maybe he gets to choose a little less next season, but Mo Salah gets to choose. And I think that matters.
Definitely, because that record, what Thierry Henry 2002-03, 20 assists, De Bruyne matched it in 1920, so that's been going for a long while. So if Salah can get 3 in the last 4,
he breaks it. And he's also been top scorer.
Exactly.
Is it the greatest season any attacking player's ever had in the Premier League?
Well, there you are.
Yeah,
exactly.
And he's won the league.
Top it off, cherry on the cake, innit? Perfect. Well, we'll leave it there, Neil. Nice one for jumping on. The Guinness has been flowing nicely, but
the Guinness is absolutely tremendous.
Absolutely.
What about Shenanigans? What about Shenanigans? Best Guinness in Liverpool, says John Milburn, and who is to argue with him?
Absolutely. Well, we'll leave it there. Nice one to Neil for jumping on. Nice one, everyone, for watching or listening, and we'll see you all next week on the next episode. Nice one. Well done.